my name is Tripp Burd. I'm 37.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Marblehead, Mass.
And where did you learn how to sail?
I grew up learning to sail out of a club called Pleon. It's based in Marblehead, actually the oldest junior sailing club in the country, I believe, and a bit unique in that it's managed by kids, effectively. High school kids are Commodores and running the programs with help from instructors and an advisory board, and allows you to learn sailing in an environment that you might not get at an adult club.
And what boats did you sail?
Grew up sailing Optimus, JY15s, and 420s for the most part.
Why did you first start sailing?
The town I grew up in is a coastal town on the water. Sailing's a big part of the community there. So some friends were members of the club, members of Pleon, learning to sail, and I went that way. Sort of the thing you do in the summer. Some people go to baseball camp, other people go to sailing camp, and that's I guess what got me started. And then making some good friends there and having some fun made it into a much longer term thing.
What inspired you to keep sailing?
Yeah, sailing's a enjoyable activity for a million reasons. It satisfies a lot of the technical engineering sides of the brain where you like to solve complex problems with a lot of variables that are never the same. You can be in the same boat in the same place, but the conditions and combination of water and wind and all that is never replicated, so it's always new and interesting. It's such a wide-ranging sport. It allows you to challenge yourself in a variety of different ways. You can go, race hard for days without sleeping. You can go cruise with friends. You can sail in 50 knots. You can sail in 2. It's just so wide-ranging that no matter what you're in for or what you're excited about, you can find an opportunity to get what you need out of it.
Where are you in your sailing career now?
So a few years ago, I went back more to 9 to 5 in, and have taken a serious hit to my sailing lifestyle. I guess throughout, junior sailing, moving into college sailing, high school sailing, things like that, it was more of a, accessory to everything else going on in your life. And then post that, in between engineering and working day jobs, sailing was a thing that me and a group of friends did with as much free time as we could find, and then moved that more into some professional sailing and working with teams and working on campaigns that were more regular, more dedicated. And then now back with 9 to 5 again. It's allowing much less time for the long-term campaigns and teams that were a fantastic opportunity earlier. Now it's when I can or when I want to prioritize it, along with everything else in life.
What was your role in Zach's documentary?
So Zach's documentary was about the race to Alaska. I know he's done several of those, and that was a race that myself and my brothers participated in a few times, and find it to be a very unique and special race in sailing in that it's different than almost anything else you'd find in a traditional, yacht club race. So working with Zach was cool. Other friends like Pat and Fiona at Waterlust, they have done some Race to Alaska content as well, and it was a cool opportunity to share what brothers are doing with friends and family, and just make it addressable or appreciable by a wider audience.
What was your experience like in the Race to Alaska?
Race to Alaska is unique in that it drives more self-reliance than maybe other sailing. You're often, part of the agreement is that it's no support, and for people outside of the Pacific Northwest, it's a pretty foreign, new piece of water and terrain to learn, just to be exposed to. It's just a fantastic opportunity to challenge yourself in a different way.
Are you planning on doing any races in the future?
Absolutely. yeah, I mean, got to see what the schedule allows, but yeah, I mean, more racing the better.
Do you prepare for any of them specially?
Every race requires its own special type of prep. So if it's something you're comfortable doing and the boat's ready to roll and you can hop on with somebody who knows what they're doing and go play a role, that's a much easier lower level of preparation. Where mounting a larger distance race with safety requirements and training or whatever's necessary, vetting the boat, all of that definitely scales depending on the type of commitment you're looking for. So another race to Alaska or some longer distance racing definitely requires a different level of preparing and everything. It's personal training as well as boat prep and team training, and there's a wide variety of components that are all necessary to be successful in it.
What boats do you sail now?
Sail kind of whatever will take me. It's yeah, I mean, haven't owned a boat for the last couple of years, so it's been better to hop on and jump in with anyone else who needs a crew, that sort of thing. I've been sailing a little bit on like a nice day sailor when I've got the time, especially with COVID. There's been some, working from home, long weekends, sort of, working evenings, that sort of thing, where go out for cruises and get time on the water. Where when people weren't working from home so much, it wasn't as flexible. And a buddy of mine just got back into F-18 sailing, so we'll be doing some more beach cat racing this summer and gearing up for worlds and things like that.
Are you normally crew or do you skipper?
Uh, for most of my sailing career, I've been crewing. Um, yeah, can drive, race to Alaska, drove, things like that. But yeah, for the most part, I enjoy crewing more.
Okay. When did you realize you wanted to race?
I remember one specific instance when I was just getting into sailing. It was one of the first races, Marblehead Race Week, this little junior sailing event, where they had an Opti Green fleet doing the races. I was all prepared. I had my chart, my course maps, everything. One of the races out there floating around, not really knowing what I was doing, but remember finishing second behind one person and they went to the wrong side of the buoy. So it turns out I won, and I was more excited about getting like the little cannon shell than actually winning the sailboat race. So that was kind of my first exposure to it that resonated and still hits home. So from there, it became more and more of a part of what I enjoy.
Do you like going fast when you sail?
Sailing's awesome in that the sensation of speed really varies depending upon how experienced you are, what type of boat you're in, what type of conditions and all that. So yeah, like easy answer, I love going fast.
Yeah.
It's it's really satisfying to push the limits of whatever you're on and see how fast you can go and how hard you can push for how long. And it's a fantastic challenge. So yeah, absolutely.
And like in a race, what matters to you most?
So in a race, I guess if you're racing to win, the goal is to win. So that's what matters. You can get into the details of the question, and different types of boats and different conditions benefit different types of decision making. So in certain types of boats, you might be better off, in a very even one design fleet that's not moving too quickly. You're better off playing the fleet and playing shifts and things like that, where very fast boats sometimes are benefited by making more gross decisions, banking on a shift and just getting as far right as you can early rather than worrying about the fleet, things like that. So it pays off to do different things depending on what your goal is, whether, yeah, ultimate speed or, trying to pinch or whatever it is.
What's your favorite point of sail?
Favorite point of sale?
Yeah.
Had a coach that I always grew up learning from and did some great sailing with. His favorite pastime was reaching through life. So that hits home.
Why is going fast important?
For me, going fast is important because it's fun. It's not always a requirement, but the overlay of going fast and having fun are quite, you know, quite overlapped in many cases. So yeah, going fast is fun. It's also, in a race you're trying to win. So that's important. But even in a cruising environment, going fast either opens up new opportunity, you go see more stuff, or you can get around weather, you can get to places you want to go. It just opens up more options. You don't have to go fast all the time, but the ability to go fast gives you just a much wider set of things you can do.
Is there a specific moment that you remember where you were going like the fastest you've ever gone?
Fastest I've ever gone, distinctly remember, is like 39 and a half knots. And I remember just not getting to 40, which was frustrating, but that was on a big, 100-foot trimaran. Sensation of speed is a different thing. Going 15 knots on a laser feels like your hair's on fire.
Yeah.
So it varies, the type of boat, the condition, how you're feeling. Like you can go 50 knots, but on a boat it's made to go 50 knots all the time, it's probably not as scary as, going 15 on a 420 or something. So sensation of speed is just as important.
What are some words you would say to inspire people to sail?
Yeah. For people interested in it, my advice is to make it a priority. Like everything, there's a lot of draws on your time and a lot of different things you could do, but sailing is a lifelong sport. It's something with more diversity and opportunity and everything than many other more simple activities. So yeah, it can be more expensive than others, or it could be more time consuming than others, but it also allows you a lot wider range of experiences. So if you prioritize it and make it a thing, you can make yourself available. And in many cases, getting on with teams, trying to do more racing, things like that. Being good is important, but being reliable, being dependable, all that elevates you faster and gets you into programs and gets you into sailing opportunities that wouldn't appear otherwise. So if it's something you're trying to make a part of your life, you need to prioritize it.